you are live. Okay. So hi everyone, welcome to today's Code at Home session. Today we're gonna talk about, we're gonna learn how to code with Scratch by coding a video game. So you will have to you will be following this live and discover some programming concepts such as loops and conditions. In the call with me, I have several members of the E-mma organization that are also coders, and they will teach you how to code through some videos. You will listen to videos and you will be coding with them. They will guide you through all the steps. And also in the YouTube chat, you have other members of the association who will answer your questions. So whenever you are stuck or have any concern or something is not working on your side, you can tell us in the chat, and we'll make sure to help you. So at the end of this session, you will have you will receive a success certificate that's individual. It's an individual certificate with your name on it. And yeah, that's it for the introduction. We can start this live session. I will give the floor to Verania to present the first video.
So, as you all see into the, so could you share the first video, please? So.
Hey, and welcome to day 2 of CS First Scratch Games. Today we're going to learn about a computer science concept while coding a racing game. This concept is called events. An event is something that causes an action. Events can be key presses, mouse clicks, or messages from one part of a computer program to another part. An event can be written as a sentence like this: when this event happens, do this action. Let's look at how events are used in the popular video game Minecraft. Minecraft is a game where the user controls a character that can fight monsters, mine resources, and build things. Minecraft could not be programmed without events. Here are some examples. When the user presses the space key, our character jumps. And when the user presses the W key, our character moves forward. When the user scrolls the mouse wheel, our character selects a new tool to use. And when the user clicks on a tree trunk, our character starts collecting wood from the tree. Now let's take a sneak peek at the game we will create today. This project has a racetrack backdrop and 2 sprites. It is a 2-player game where each player controls a sprite. The object of the game is to be the first to make it around the track. In this screencast, I'll show you how to open a starter project. After you finish watching the screencast, it'll be your turn to do the same. Let's get started. Next to the screencast, you should see a link that reads Racing Game Starter Project. Clicking this link will open a Scratch project with a racetrack backdrop in a new tab. If you want to switch back to the screencast, click the CS First tab. Now it's your turn. Click the Starter Project link next to the screencast. Once you're done, switch back to this tab and click the green arrow to watch the next screencast.
As you saw kids in the introduction video, we're gonna make a racing game. So it's time to code. Please make the steps at the same time with us, and let's watch together the first step. So could you put the second video, please? Yes.
In this video, you will use events to move the player 1 sprite when the arrow keys are pressed. To start, click on the player 1 sprite. In this game, the user needs to be able to move the sprite forward and turn it left or right. To find blocks that move the sprite, click on Motion. If you're not sure which blocks to choose, click on a few to see what they do. For example, if you click on Move 10 steps, you see that it moves the sprite forward, so you can choose to add it to the program. Clicking on the Turn blocks turns the sprite, so drag both of those out as well. You now have 3 blocks in your program, but the only way to run them is to click on them. That doesn't make for a very exciting game. To fix this, use event blocks to run this code when the user presses the arrow keys. Click on the
I'm sorry, Adina.
event blocks
Can you pause the video? First, we will give the link of the Scratch platform to the children. Then we will watch the video so that we'll see if they have issues opening the link or something. So we just shared the link of the Scratch platform for you to code on the YouTube chat. Please click on that link and tell us if you have access and if everything is okay on your side. You do not need to sign in. You continue without signing in. It's not required. So you click on the link shared in the chat. It is pinned now. You click on the link and it opens the platform. And on this platform, you will follow all the steps that that are shared on the video. You will listen to the video and do exactly the same thing, and we'll explain all the steps for you. Okay, so some are saying that everything is okay on their side. Perfect. If you have any issue, please tell us on the chat. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we can continue with the video. Thank you.
Run code. You could use an event block that would run code when the green flag is clicked or when the sprite is clicked. But for this game, you will use a when key pressed block. This block has a drop-down menu that shows every key press option. The sprite should move forward when you press the up arrow, so select up arrow and attach this block to the move 10 steps block. Test your code by pressing the up arrow. Great! Now the sprite moves forward when the up arrow is pressed. You can add more key press events to turn the sprite clockwise with the right arrow and counterclockwise with the left arrow. If your sprite ends up moving the wrong way when you test your code, don't worry. Just go back to the code and try adding different events until it moves the way you want it. Remember, an important part of computer science is sticking with the problems and trying different solutions until you find the right one. Perfect. Now it's your turn. Program the player one sprite using a key press event for up, left, and right arrow keys. Then add a movement block for each event.
So kids, after watching the video, let's make the step together. So, Benjamin, could you tell us how could you allow the animals to walk, please?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe before Benjamin, you started, just I want to jump in it and say, and to be sure that all kids watching this live has the Scratch link open. If you do not have it, please look at the chat on YouTube live and click on the link, because if you don't open the link, you can't code with us. Now we're going to code with you, students. So please open the link and code with us. Do not forget to open the link. It's super important. Otherwise, you can't code. Open the link, click on the link and code with us. Thank you so much.
Let's wait a little bit.
If you have any issue to open the link, please tell us on the chat, on the YouTube chat, so the team will be able to help you. But please first open the link, and once it's open, we will continue the coding part. I give back the floor to Raja.
Yes, so tell us if you can't open the link, and we will run again the first video, because some things that it went too fast. So we will open. We will go back to the first video and watch it again to see the instructions, and then we will explain the steps.
By the first video, you mean the introduction?
No, this one, the one with the code. Sorry. So yeah, just this one.
In this video, you will use events to move the player one sprite when the arrow keys are pressed. To start, click on the player one sprite. In this game, the user needs to be able to move the sprite forward and turn it left or right. To find blocks that move the sprite, click on motion. If you're not sure which blocks to choose, click on a few to see what they do. For example, if you click on move 10 steps, you see that it moves the sprite forward, so you can choose to add it to the program. Clicking on the turn blocks turns the sprite, so drag both of those out as well. You now have 3 blocks in your program, but the only way to run them is to click on them. That doesn't make for a very exciting game. To fix this, use event blocks to run this code when the user presses the arrow keys. Click on the events menu. Event blocks tell the computer when to run code. You could use an event block that would run code when the green flag is clicked or when the sprite is clicked. But for this game, you will use a when key pressed block. This block has a drop-down menu that shows every key press option. The sprite should move forward when you press the up arrow, so select up arrow and attach this block to the move 10 steps block. Test your code by pressing the up arrow. Great! Now the sprite moves forward when the up arrow is pressed. You can add more key press events to turn the sprite clockwise with the right arrow and counterclockwise with the left arrow. If your sprite ends up moving the wrong way when you test your code, don't worry. Just go back to the code and try adding different events until it moves the way you want it. Remember, an important part of computer science is sticking with the problems and trying different solutions until you find the right one. Perfect. Now it's your turn. Program the player 1 sprite using a key press event for up, left, and right arrow keys. Then add a movement block for each event.
So kids, as we said before, if we're gonna so fast for you, you can tell us in the chat, and we're gonna explain it again. So Benjamin, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Could you tell us more about the animals and how could we let them walk, please?
Yeah, so for everyone saying it's a bit too fast, you don't have to be worried. You will just have to code when I will explain again what was in the video. So don't worry. So first, you will, as the video said, you will click on the player 1 on the left bottom of your screen. This will allow the computer to understand that the code we will write now will be to impact the player 1 and not both or only the player 2. Once it's done, it's pretty important because else what you will write will not work as we want. So once your player 1 is clicked and it's in blue, like you can see on the screen, we'll start coding. So the first step, as we saw in the video, is to implement the movements. So there is 3 movements we want to add to our game. It's to move forward, to turn left, and to turn right. So you can find these actions in the motion part. You can choose the part you're looking for on the left of your screen. So the motion part is the blue part, as you can see on the screen, and the first 3 blocks are the one we will use for now. So you can take one exactly, and you can put it on your screen, and you can do the same for the 2 others, and do not put the blocks separate, because these 3 actions will be for a different key pressed by the player, so by you. Once you have the 3 blocks here, I'm just waiting a bit to be sure everyone can listen, watch, and do the same at the same time. So the 3 blocks are in the motion part, the blue one on the left of your screen. You just have to drag and drop the blocks you're looking for on the main part of your white screen.
Excuse me, so I'm just jumping in and adding something I see in the chat. People who already opened the Scratch link, please do not sign in. you don't need to sign in. You can code without signing in. So I see a lot of message in the chat asking, do we need to sign in? No, students, you don't need to sign in. You can close it with, you can close the pop-up you have on your screen without signing to Scratch. You can code without signing in.
So if everything is good for you, you're supposed to have a blue code block, sorry, which said move 10 steps. Another one, turn 15 degrees with the left arrow. And finally, a last one with turn right 15 degrees. If you click on the different blocks, you will see actions. For example, if you move 10 steps or if you turn, you will see that the blue elephant, the player 1, will move. If this is happening, it's good. But to play our game, we won't want to click on the different code blocks to play. We'll have to use our keyboard and especially our arrows. So you will add these blocks to our code by going in the Events tab. It's the yellow one on the left of your screen. And you will see that the second block says when space key is pressed. So you will take this block and once again you will drag and drop it on your screen. And we will stick one of these blocks for every blue block that we already have. So these blocks will be sticked together to create a new bigger block, and that will say that when you use a key, the action in blue will be executed. So you can see that on the word space, just after that word, you have a little arrow. If you click on this, you will have a new menu which will propose different arrows, different keys. So you will have here to choose the key you want to press to activate the action. So for example, here we are on the yellow block, which is on the up of the block talking about moving forward. So for example, I think the up arrow should be a good idea. And if you click on it, you will see that in the block of code, this will change the name of the key.
I'm sorry to jump in again, Benjamin. Just seeing the chat, there is again another message coming up saying some students are not able to open the link. Please use the Google Chrome navigator in case your navigator is not supporting the Scratch link. And so you will be able to open the Scratch link on Google Chrome Navigator. In case you are using another navigator which is not working properly, please copy paste the link on a Google Chrome Navigator. Thank you.
So I will give you a bit more time, and for the ones who did not reach the first part because they had issues with the link, I will explain once again. So here we want to add the capacity of movement to the player 1. So the first thing you have to do before adding some code is clicking on the player 1, which will explain to the computer that the code you will write will impact only the player 1. Once you're here, you had to go in the motion menu on the left of your screen, the blue one, and add the 3 first blocks, because we will want to move forward, to turn left, and to turn right. So you just had to drag and drop these blocks in your white screen on the middle of your page. And you had to put them separate, because these are 3 different actions. Once it's done, you have to go in the event menu. Once again, it's on the left, sorry, of your screen, and it's the yellow menu. The second block is when space key pressed. That will make the computer understand that you will want to do something when you're pressing a key, and that's exactly what we want, because we want to let our character, the player one, move forward, turn left or turn right when we press the arrows on your keyboard. So yeah, once again, you drag and drop, and you can stick one of these yellow block at the top of every blue block you already had. Exactly what you're seeing on your screen, on the live. And once it's done, you will just have to change by clicking on the space word in the yellow block. You will just have to change the key you want to add. So here you're clicking on the block at the top of turn right. So maybe we can put the right arrow. We already did it for the move 10 steps. We put it the up arrow. And for the last one, it's turn left. So maybe you can add the left arrow. So here you have 3 different movements that your player one can do, and 3 different keys which will activate these moves. So if you click on the little green flag, I'm not sure it's useful, but let's do that. By clicking on the little green flag at the top, a bit on the right of your screen, you will start the test. And now, if you use your keys that you're linked to actions, this should work. So yeah, if you press the up arrow, your elephant will straight forward. If you use the right arrow, the elephant will turn right, and if you use your left arrow, the elephant will turn left. If this is working for you, that means that you reached the first step. I will go and check the chats.
Yes, so some are saying that they can't hear you properly. So can you explain again one more time what you did, and louder, so they can get all the steps?
Okay, so I will re-explain from zero once again. So first, you have to click on the player one on the bottom right of your screen, which means to the computer that the code you will add will be in interaction with the player one. Second, you will have to go in the movement menu, the blue one, and add 1 block move 10 steps, 1 block turn with the arrow to the right 15 degrees, and turn with the left arrow 15 degrees. You have to drag and drop these 3 blocks in your main page on the middle, and don't forget to separate them. Once it's done, you have to go in the Events menu, the yellow one on the left of your screen. And choose the block when space key pressed, and you had to want to stick one of these blocks to every blue block, like we did in the on the screen. Once it's done, you just have to click on the on your main place. You will have the yellow blocks with space wrote. I mean, you will have when space key pressed. You have to click on the space word and put the keys you want to add. So for steps forward, we choose up arrow. Exactly. For turn right, we choose right arrow, like here. And for turn left, we choose left arrow. Please notice that you're not. It's not an obligation to use these keys, but it seems logic. So if you want to do something else, you can. But we will choose these possibilities. And then at the top right of your screen, you will have the little green flag, which will allow you to test your code. And if you click on it, and then you use the key you connected to the steps, to the moves, your game should work.
So thank you for your application, Benjamin. So kids, we have done together the first step. Let's recap what we did with Benjamin. So what's the goal for the first step? The goal was to be able to the animals could walk in the green track. So we have done together three parts, three important parts, super important for this game. So we have picked together the when up arrow key pressed. So this key allows us when we press on the up key in our keyboard of our computer, so the elephant could walk 10 steps forward. The second part was the elephant could walk could turn 15 degrees in the left. So we have put together the button when left arrows key pressed. So when I press on the left arrow, the elephant turns left 15 degrees. And same thing for the right arrow. So when I click on the right arrow on the computer, the elephant could turn could turn 15 degrees on the right. So I hope that you are fine with this step. So we can move to the next one. So let's watch together the second step. If it's all good for you, tell us in the chat, please. Okay.
Okay, I think we can continue
We
to
can
the next
continue.
video.
So could you put the video, please?
In this video, you will program the player 1 sprite to keep moving while a key is pressed. The player 1 sprite moves when you press and hold down a key, but the movement isn't smooth. Also, if you're holding down a key, like the up arrow, and you press another key, like the right arrow, this sprite stops moving forward. This racing game would be a lot more fun if you could move forward and turn at the same time. So you'll program that in this step. To make that happen, use the RepeatUntil block from Control. You want each movement to repeat or keep happening until the user stops pressing the key. To do this, Attach the repeat until block to the up arrow event and place the move forward block inside it. Next, tell the sprite when to stop moving forward. The sensing category contains many different blocks that let the computer detect if something is happening. For example, the key space pressed block can let the computer know if a key is being pressed. You can change the value of this block to up arrow and add it to the repeat until block. Now this reads, when the up arrow key is pressed, repeat moving forward until the up arrow key is pressed. Make the sprite keep moving forward until the up arrow key is not pressed. With computers, it's important to give exact instructions because the computer will do exactly what you tell it to do. To fix this, choose the not block from operators and place it in the block stack. Now it reads, when the up arrow key is pressed, repeat moving forward until the up arrow key is not being pressed. Much better. Run your code to see how this solution works. The player 1 sprite should now move smoothly because it keeps moving as long as the up arrow key is pressed. Finally, program the repeat blocks for the other 3 events. You can do this pretty easily by duplicating or copying your code. To do that, right-click on the repeat until block that you just created and select duplicate. Drag the duplicated code over to your right arrow event. Place the right turn movement inside and change the key press value to right arrow. Try this event by pressing the right arrow. Great! Your sprite should turn smoothly now. Now that each movement is coded, you can tinker with the values of the movement blocks to make sure that the sprite moves at the speed you want. Try out a bunch of different numbers until you get a gameplay experience that you like. For example, control how fast the sprite moves forward by testing a few values in the Move 10 Steps block. This example uses 4. Well, that's a little too slow. Try 8. Great, that's much easier to control. Once you've programmed the repeat until blocks in this step, switch to the player 2 sprite and program keyboard events to make it move. Because you've already used the arrow keys, you will need to program player 2 using different keys. This example uses the W, A, S, and D keys for player 2. Now it's your turn. Make the sprite move smoothly with repeat until blocks. Then, program the player 2 sprite to move when different keys are pressed. Once you've programmed 2 players, find a neighbor and test your racing game. Then, move on to the add-ons to customize your game.
So now we're gonna make the animals more smoothly in the first part, moving more smoothly, and then we're gonna make the same steps for the second sprite, for the second player, with Jeremy. Jeremy, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, so the goal of this party is to make the player move forward and turn at the same time. Same for player 2. We want each movement to repeat until the user stops pressing the key. To do that, we will add a repeat until block. On the left of the screen, go in the control category in orange. Click on the repeat until block. Yeah, not this one. Repeat until. Yeah, this one. So the user stops pressing the key. Okay. And you will drop it just under the up arrow event. So just under the orange block in the first event. Yeah, here. And be sure to have the blue block inside the repeat until block. Now we have to tell our block when to stop moving forward. In order to do that, go in the sensing category on the middle left of your screen. Yeah, this one. Click on the key space pressed block. Yeah, this one. Hold it and now drop it in the gray area after repeat until in the orange block. Yeah, here, just here. We have first to change the value space of the block to up arrow. So click on the space value and change this value into up arrow. So click in up arrow. Okay. This block will react when the up arrow key will be pressed. Okay, so if we read what we have written, it's like Until the up arrow key is pressed, keep moving forward. But we want our player to stop when the up arrow key isn't pressed. If it isn't the exact instruction, our computer will not do what we want him to do. So be sure that to change the code. So thus, go in the operator category on the middle left of your screen. It's a green category, yeah. Click on the not block. Yeah, this block. And drop it in the place of keep arrow press. Yeah, now take over the keep arrow press block and place it in the gray area of the not block. Yeah, like this. So now our program reads, when the up arrow key is pressed, repeat moving until the up arrow key is not being pressed. So the program will stop when the up arrow key isn't pressed. In order to test that, we can run the program by clicking on the green flag on your right, and we can try to use the up arrow key. Okay. So it's
sorry, they are saying to explain one more time. So can you please go over the blocks where you took them and yeah, show how it works?
Okay, so the repeat until block, you can find it in the control category on your left. It's orange category, and it's in the middle of the screen on your left. It's the repeat until block. After you have to take the key space pressed block. It's a block in the sensing category. Is here, yeah. Okay, and you have to change the value of the block. In the example, it's space pressed, but we want to change the value into up arrow pressed. So you have to change the value before. After you do that, you have to, we can delete this block here, maybe. And after you do that, so you have to take another block called not block in the operator category on your left. It's a green category. And you have to take the not block. So drag the not block and replace the key press block by this block. Okay, so you have to take over the key up arrow press block and to drop it in the gray area in the not block. Yeah, like this. So if we read what we have code, we can read when the up arrow key is pressed. The program will move until the key up arrow isn't pressed. So it will stop when we stop to hold the key up arrow. If you have that, you can test by clicking on the green flag and trying to move, and you will saw that it's more easy. But we have to do that for the two other events in order to have a player moving smoothly and turning smoothly. So if it's okay for you for this first party, you will have to right click on the repeat until block and click on duplicate, because we want to do the same for the two events more easier. When you have the the big block with repeat until, not key up arrow, and other, you will drop it in the second event called left arrow. You will drop it just under the yellow block. Okay, like this. You will take the move 10 steps inside the repeat until and drop it on the left of your screen. The block will disappear. You will take the turn 15 degrees block and drop it inside the repeat until block. Because we want to turn when we will press 0. Now you have to change the value inside the key pressed block because it's not up arrow, but when you click on up arrow, we will want to change the value and into a left arrow. Okay, and if you do that, just retry to test the program. And when you try to move and turn left, you will see it's turn and move at the same time. So we have to do the same things with the third event. So stop the program. And now duplicate again the code. So right click on the repeat until block, click on duplicate, and drop the block selected just under the third event, just under the yellow block. So the block is called when right arrow key pressed. Okay, just like that. You can scroll the bar if you don't see all the code. Yeah, like that. Take the turn left arrow 15 degrees and with inside the repeat until block. Not yes, this one, okay, and drop it on the left of your screen because we don't want to turn on the left. The third event in the third event we want to turn on the right. So take the turn 15 degrees with the right arrow and drop it inside the repeat until block. Yeah, like this. We have to change the value inside the key pressed because the key we want to press here is the right arrow. So click on the right arrow just here because it's the same key with the block just here. And now try to start your program, and you will see that the elephant is moving more smoothly and turning more smoothly.
Okay, so now we have the 3 blocks. We're gonna wait a few seconds.
Yeah,
Just
I think.
leave it on the code so we can see the code. If something is not working for you, can you check if you have the same thing as we are sharing on the screen? And if it's the same thing, if everything is working, also tell us where you are at, if you're stuck or. So someone is saying my elephant is not working, is not moving.
It's maybe in the first part with the block Benjamin placed on the screen. Normally you have 2 blocks. The block when I don't know. Can we just drag the repeat until block and place it somewhere? Just to see what blocks we want to have with the first part before doing the second part. I don't know, because the elephant,
What do I have to drag?
You have to drag the, for example, in the first event, you have to drag the repeat until block and drop it just somewhere else. in the program. Not on your left, but the block in the program. Yeah, like this, and drop it here, for example, and take the turn 15 degrees block with inside the RepeatUntil and drag it just under. Okay, you can do it for the second event, I think, just to I don't know, to the student who want to see what they have to have for the first part, I think.
So this is the instructions to move the elephant. All you need is two blocks. When left arrow key pressed, turn 15 degrees. For example, this 2 blocks. This is the simple instruction to move the elephant, and then you have to add the other blocks. This is for this current step. So tell us if with these 2 blocks, it's still not moving for you. Tell us in the chat if everything is working. Okay, so someone is saying everything is working. Done. Okay. I think we can move on. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So redo the same. Okay. And now we will have to make the second player moving. But before, you can change the value inside the first block. So in the block up arrow. So in the first block, you can change the value, move 10 steps. You can say, I don't know, 5 steps. And when you will start your program, you will see that your elephant is moving slowly. So it's more easier to control. Now stop the program and we'll do the same for the player 2. So click on the player 2 sprite on the bottom right of your screen. It's a lion, I think. And we will have to add all the blocks. Because you have already used the arrow keys, the player 2 will use different keys. We will use the W, A, S, and D keys for player 2. We have to add the same block of player 1 and change the values of the 3 keys. So go on the events category on your left. It's a yellow category. Take the block when key pressed and drop it in your program. Take 2 other times the block because we have 3 events. Okay, nice. Change the value of the first block. Click on space and change the value into W, because it's the key when we want to move forward. For the second event, click on the space and change the value into A. When we will want to turn to the left. So click on the A value, maybe on the top, yeah. And for the third event, do the same, click on the space and change value into D. Okay, and now go in the control category and click on it's orange category on your left, and click on the RepeatUntil block in the middle, yeah, and drop it for the third event. So drop it just under the first block in the first event, yeah, and do it for the second event. Normally you should have something like this. Just after, we will have to add another operator. So go on the operator category on the middle left of your screen. Yeah, it's a green category, and take the not block. Drop it in the gray area just after repeat until in the first event. Maybe we will do all for the first event, and after we will duplicate the code. So you can delete I don't know, the two other, yeah. Just the repeat until block, delete the block. Yeah, like this. Okay. And for the first event, we will we will go in the sensing category on the middle left of the screen, and click on the key space pressed block. Yeah, this one, and we'll drop it inside the green block, so the not block. Inside, yes, just here. We want the same key pressed as the block just upper. So click on the space and choose the W key. Yeah, just this one. And because our lion will not move, we have to add a motion block. So go in the motion category on your left. It's the first category, and take the move steps block and drop it inside our repeat until block. Yeah, just yeah. Maybe change the value into 5, like the first player. You can test with starting your program and try to use W to see if the lion moves around. Okay, nice. When you have that, we will duplicate the code. So click right click on the repeat until block and click on duplicate. Drop this block just under the second event. So the block is called when A key pressed. Okay, nice. Take the move 5 test blocks and drop it on the left of your screen because we don't want to move, but we want to turn the player on the left. So we will take the on the left of the screen in the motion category, we will take the turn left arrow degrees. So this one, yeah, with the left arrow, and drop it inside the repeat until block in the second event. Yeah, this one. Change the value of the key in the blue block and choose the A key, like the block just upper. Okay. Now duplicate this block. So right click on repeat until and click on duplicate. Drop this block just under the third event. So it's called when D key pressed. Like the second event, take the blue block with inside repeat until and drop it in the left of your screen. Because we don't want this block, in this third event, we want to turn on the right. So we will take the block on our left. It's called turn with a right arrow. So take this block and drop it inside the repeat until block in the third event. Nice. And we have to change the value of the key inside the blue block. So click on A and now click on D. Okay, so this block will then normally, if you start your program, your lion with W, A, and D will move smoothly. Try with W, A, and D. Yeah. So we have our lion moving smoothly like our elephant. So if you have that, you have finished this part. I will just resume what, for example, the second event do. It's in this part, when we press a key, the event inside our the event inside, so if it's moving forward or if it's turning on the left or on the right, it will repeat until we hold the key. So if we hold the key, the event will repeat, and if we stop hold the key, the event will stop. So if we are moving forward and turning on the left, we will keep doing this event until the key are pressed. So we'll play if you have all of this and this part is maybe finished. I can re-explain if you want.
So kids, if it's okay, let us know in the chat. Write for us in the chat if it's good or not. To explain once more again if you need. So okay, so we're gonna move to the next step, please. So could we watch the third video? The third video, please.
Racing around the same old track all day could get pretty boring. Use this add-on to change up the venue for your racing sprites. In this video, you'll learn how to add a button that you can program to change between the 3 racetrack backdrops available in the starter project. Watch how it's done first, then try it on your own. To start, choose a sprite to be the button for this project. For example, button 1, like you see here. You can choose any sprite you want for your project. This button is pretty large, so make it smaller, and drag it into the corner of the project. Next, program the button to change backdrops. Click on Looks, select the Switch Backdrop to block, and change the value to Next Backdrop. The backdrops now change when the block is clicked. Finally, add an event that tells the computer to run this code. The backdrop should change when this sprite is clicked. To make that happen, add a When This Sprite Clicked event. Try it out. Remember, it's important to test your code at every step along the way. That's what computer scientists do to make sure everything is working the way they want it. Awesome! The user can click this button to choose a backdrop. Now it's your turn. Add a sprite and change the backdrop using a Switch Backdrop block and a When Sprite Clicked event.
So let's start together doing the steps. So we gonna the goal of the step is to change the race track of the game. So let us go in. Let's click on the cat button in the bottom of the screen, please. Yes. Good. Oh, what such buttons? So kids, we're gonna choose the bottom one, but feel free to choose the button that you want. So yes, let's click on it. Oh, it's very big for this track. So, and so we're gonna resize it. So you gonna, yes, exactly, yes. So please, kids, let's modify the value which is in the size. So let's make it 50 or 60. Yes, 60 is good. So let's move it in the left part, in the bottom, please. Yes, good. So so now what we did, we clicked on the cat bottom, and we have choose together the bottom one. So you could choose another button, but we will use this button for this time. So now together we're gonna click on the bottom one in the screen. Yes, good. Yeah. Um, and now we're gonna click on the left on the looks. So the purple one. Yes, good. And then we choose switch backdrop. Yes, exactly. So yes, good. So now we're gonna change it so to the next backdrop. Yes, good. So we're gonna click in the track in the word track 3, and we're gonna change it by next backdrop. Then we're gonna click in the event, so in the yellow one, and we're gonna choose when the sprite clicked. So I think it's the third one. Yes, good. So we're gonna stick it with the yes in the first. Yes, it's very good. Now we're gonna test because so we're gonna click on the flag, on the green flag on the top of the screen to test. Yeah, it's good. So now we had do a button to switch between the tracks of the game. Tell us, kids, if it's good for you till now, or do you have some problems? So to explain again, till with his messages. So we have clicked together in the cat button in the bottom of the screen. We have chosen the bottom one, but you can feel free to choose whatever you want. So we could choose the cake one, the whatever you want, the apple, the ballerina, the ball. So for this time, we're gonna choose the bottom one. Not yes. So you can click the back place. Yes, good. So we it was very big in the first. So we have it was 100. So we decrease it into to 16. Yes. So it was more smaller, and that we put it in the bottom of the screen because otherwise there's the second word track is it's gonna be in the middle. So and then we clicked on the bottom one. So we have player 1, player 2, and the bottom one. Or for you, you will have the name of the object that you have choose. So in the first we have chosen, we have to go to the looks, the purple one, the purple event, and we have drag the switch backdrop to. So it was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was the seventh one. So we have clicked also to the track 3, and we have switched it, or we have changed it to next backdrop. Yes, exactly. So this is and then we have then we went to the event Yes, the yellow one. And then we have picked the third one. So when the sprite clicks, and we have stick it to the purple one. So yes, exactly like this. So do you have all the same thing? So here we have it 2 times. So you should have it in just one block. So it's all good for you. I can't see the chat, so Dipti
Yeah, let's wait a few
Rajas,
seconds.
could you tell us if
Please.
it's good or not?
Okay, someone is saying done. Please tell us if there's an issue.
Okay, tell us more about the actors for helping you, because if we not have the issue, we can't help you. So don't hesitate to write us.
I think we can move on now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can move on. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we're gonna move forward to the next step. So could we watch the next video, please? Yes, this one. Good.
To make this game even more fun and interesting, you can change how the sprites look with the costume change. In this add-on, you'll learn how to change costumes for player 1 and player 2 when the 1 and 2 keys are pressed on the keyboard. If you click on player 1 in the Costumes tab, you'll see there are 3 costumes for this sprite available in the Starter project. If you want to choose more costumes, simply click Choose Costumes from Library and select the costumes you want to add. Select Looks. Add a Next Costume block, which changes the sprite's costumes. When you click on this block, it changes the costumes of the player 1 sprite. Finally, add an event to tell the computer when to change the player 1 sprite's costume. The user should be able to change the costume by pressing a key on the keyboard, such as the space key. To make that possible, select a When Space Key Pressed block. Choose any value that makes sense for player 1. This example uses 1, but play around with the values until you find one you like. Time to test your code. Press the 1 key and look at that! The costume changes. To program player 2, code this in the same way, but with a different key press event that uses a different key than the one you programmed for player 1. Now it's your turn. Add more costumes to your player sprites. Program costume changes using Next Costume and Wean key press blocks.
So now we're gonna custom some changes. So we have done together a game in multiplayers, as you see, with the player 1 and player 2, and now we're gonna change those players by another object. So Kevin, are you here?
I am.
Yeah, could you tell us more about this part, please?
Of course. So to change the costume, we're going to go into the looks, which is the purple section on the left. Or we can also look at the costumes, yes. If we look at the costume, we can see there is an elephant, a unicorn, and a car. On the bottom, we have a little circle with a plus and the little cat logo, which could enable us to add more costumes if we want to. If you click on it, choose a costume. We have a list of multiple costumes that we can use. So if you want to have a bat, we can have a bat, we can have a balloon, we can have a ball, we could also have a bear. If you don't want to, you can just click back on the top left, or you can select a new item if you want to.
Excuse me, where do I click?
On the top left, you can click back.
Thank you.
If we go back to the code, on the top left, we have access to our code, and in the purple section, which is looks, we can find a block called Next Costume. You can drag it into the screen. And because we want to change it through the controls and we want to change it with a button, we're going to go into controls, the orange section on the left. And the yellow section, I apologize. And we're going to use when the space button, the space key is pressed. We're going to drag it on top of the next costume block. And we're going to modify the space button so that we can use any other button. Because this is player 1, we're going to use the number 1 button. And now if we press the number 1, we can see on the top right, the elephant is going to change into a unicorn, a car, and the elephant again. If we select the player 2 sprite on the bottom right, we can do the same thing again so that we can change the costume for the player 2. So again, if we go in looks in purple, if we choose next costume, we go in the events again and grab the when a key is pressed event, drag it on top of next costume, and then choose a new button instead of space, like 2 for player 2. And we press 2, we can have a dinosaur or another car or a butterfly. And that's how we changed costumes. Alright, people in the chat, did you all understand? Do we have to do it again? Do you have any questions? Arian says he's good. Be a bit louder if possible. Okay, do you want me to do it again, Namami? Repeat, please. Okay, let's try again with player 1. Okay, we're going to delete the entire block and we're going to do it again. Okay, so if we go in block in looks, we can find the next costume block. If we go into events, the yellow bit, we can find the when the key is pressed block. So to save, you need to sign in. When the key is pressed, we have a space button, but we want to use button 1 to change the player. So we can just put 1. And if we press 1, we can see the elephant changes costume. I understood everything. Wonderful. I'll give the roles back to Raja. He's going to continue the project.
Okay, so I think everyone is done. In the chat, they are saying that they are done. Okay, I think then we can conclude. So everyone, we learned through these steps how to code a video game. It's the racing game with all the steps. So now we will go on with the certificate. After completing this workshop, you're gonna receive individual certificates. So yeah, thank you, Adina. You can go on to the next slide. Go to the next slide, please. So we will share with you a link on the YouTube chat to receive your certificates. You will put your names and your first name and last name on the certificate and enter a code, and then you will receive your certificate. So please, those in the chat, put the link. Yeah, so we are sharing the link to the certificate platform on the chat. Tell us if you can open it, if you have any questions on that. Yeah, so the code to enter when you are asked on that platform, it's shared on the screen. It's ENCS82. It's written on the screen now. Tell us if you get your certificate.
So, Raja, I'm just jumping up here. Please, every students who are watching this live and who coded with us, go on the link certificates.emma.org and please enter your first name, last name, and the code which is on your screen. So INCS82. Please don't forget to click on the link first, enter the first name and the code, and click on the submitting button. So every student, do it by yourself, certificates.emma.org, first name, last name, and enter the code.
Yes, so we are sharing the link now. And okay, maybe we can show how to. Should we show how to do it, DT,
Sure,
or?
absolutely. So Adina,
Okay.
maybe we can do it together.
Perfect. Okay, maybe not this link actually. It's .en at the end and not .org.
Yeah,
so we shared the right one on the chat. So the children click on the link on the YouTube chat, and for Adina, write at emma.in.
Yes. So again, students, the link to the certificate is certificates.emma.in. We have put it in the chat. Please click on the link. The team will put it again and again. Please click on the link to get your certificate.
Okay. So yeah, just wait on that. Yeah. You can copy, and on the YouTube, there's a little delay. So now you can see the page with your first name and last name asked. You click there and you write the right name. And then for workshop code, you take the code that we showed on the slide, copy paste it there, and then you will get your certificate. Okay, so they are saying that they got their certificate. That's perfect. I got the certificate. Yeah, so they are saying in the chat they all got their certificate. Okay. So we'll continue sharing the link, the certificates link, and for everyone, you get your individual certificates. Okay, so I think we can move on. For those who got their certificate, you can send us photos holding your certificates at code@home@emma.org, the email address written on the screen.
Yes.
And yeah.
Can Adina share again the certificate platform, please?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Adina, can you go back on that? Thank you. So, Adina, perfect. Can you write here your first name and your last name? Yes. So everyone, this is how we do first name, last name, and the code, and we click on the submit button. Please click on the submit button, Adina. Once you're there, so congratulations, because you have worked hard for this certificate and today for the coding session. So on the top, as you can see, if Adina, can you go on the top of this page? So as you can see, we have put our social network. So you have Instagram account, Twitter account, Facebook account. Please, as Raja just mentioned, please share your pictures while coding or holding the certificate with us. We will be happy, really happy to see you, and we will be happy to share your photos on our social networks. So use the hashtag code at home. As you can see, it's mentioned on the screen of Adina, code at home. Please use this hashtag and share your pictures with us on the different social networks we are having, and we will be able to share those pictures of yours on our accounts. So please, students, don't forget to do it, because we want to know if you were happy to do this session. We want to have your feedback, and regarding feedback, it's super important, students, because there is going to be many sessions in the coming weeks, in the coming months. So it's important for us that you tell us how you felt about this coding session, how you felt about the content, and for that we really need your feedback. Please don't forget to click on the button send feedback. As you can see on the screen of Adina, send feedback. On this button you will have just a few questions. It will take you not more than 2 minutes, but these 2 minutes are precious for us, because these 2 minutes will help us to improve the next coding sessions. So please give us your feedback. Please take 2 minutes to give the feedback. It's an anonymous feedback. We won't know who you are, so don't worry about that. If the feedback is negative or the feedback is positive, we open to listen to everything. Please give us your feedback. And of course, at the end, as you can see, there is a button, download my certificate, on the screen of Adina. Please don't forget to download your certificate, which is personalized with your first name and last name. And of course, don't forget to send your photos. Again, we will be happy to see you kids coding and holding the certificate, or videos, whatever you want. Please share it with us. So maybe can you put again, Adina, the slide you were sharing before? Thank you. So as I said, you can also send, and Raja mentioned, your photos on email. So use the email code at home@e-mma.org to share your photos with us. Please share the photos with us, and please, teachers, students who are watching us, principals who are watching us, please make sure that students share the photos. We will be happy to see the impact this initiative is having. So do not hesitate to do it. Also, students who are watching us, even teachers, even principals, please download the Code at Home app, as you can see on the screen, because you will have all the coding sessions available on the Code at Home app. It is available on App Store and also on Google Play. So you can subscribe directly your students through this app, or students can directly subscribe themselves through this app. So you will be able to see the next coding sessions as well. But you can also see all the coding sessions online by going on our official page, Code at Home. So the page, as you can see, appear on the screen. So it's www.e-mma.org/code at home. As you can see, Adina is sharing the link on her screen. It's exactly, thank you, Adina, it's e-mma.org/code at home. So on this page, you will also have all the upcoming coding session, and you can subscribe from there as well. So in case your phone is not supporting the app, so do not worry. Please go on the website and you can also subscribe from there. And finally, please students, don't forget to subscribe the YouTube link, because you will be able the YouTube channel, because you will be able to know about all the upcoming coding sessions. So please subscribe the YouTube channel and you will get the updates as well. Don't forget to do it, students. And please again share your photos with us directly on social networks or through email code@home@e-mma.org. And as you can see, the next session is in just few days. So please don't forget to subscribe to the next session. And as I told you last time, but I'm telling you again, every session has different content. So don't worry, what you have learned today will not be the same that you will learn next time. So as you can see on our website and also on the app, the next session is on 7 April. So don't forget to subscribe to the next session, students, 7 April. Ask your schools, your teachers to also contact us by email to subscribe to the coding session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being there and for coding and all the questions you ask to us. We know that it's not always easy when you are starting in programming, in coding, but we are happy that you like the session, and we are happy to welcome you to all the upcoming sessions. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any other question by using the email address code@home@e-mma.org. The team will put again the address email in the chat. So it's code@home@e-mma.org. Thank you, students. If you have any issue to get your certificate or any other question, please reach out to us. Thank you, and looking forward to meet you on the 7th April.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I think we can conclude this today's session.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and looking forward to meet you to the next session.